What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Funkin Homies. One half of the Funkin Homies. Unfortunately, the other half is a little under the weather tonight, as he caught a nice feature that was there with the MTE crowd. We'll talk about that. I do have a special guest here tonight, as we always like to do here on the Funkin Homies from time to time. I got Jordenlee here from Desire Detail. Say hello, Jordan.
Hey everybody, what is up?
So, yeah, and welcome back, everyone. Love that you're in there. Hello to the culture. I love it. Let's go, Rick. I love it. What's up, Celtic? How's it going? Uh, Glad. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. It's it's a highlight of my week. I hope it's a highlight of yours. We got a lot of fun questions today. We're gonna learn about Jordan Lee over here. If you don't know her, she does a lot of cool stuff in the detailing space, and some of you may know her, some of you may not. But if you don't, we're gonna get to know her better tonight and kind of see what she's all about. If I don't get back to your comments right away, don't hate because it's a one man show tonight and it's a little bit harder to kind of navigate to the comments versus, you know, I don't know, the live streams. There's me glitching right there because, I'm glitching. That's how it works.
You got that Timu internet tonight. You were giving me
That,
crap about my internet. You got
I
that
know my
Timu
team,
internet now.
it is Timoing up. It's not even funny. It's not even funny.
Oh, thank you, Kyle. Kyle said she's awesome.
She is. A lot of people are hyped for this. Yeah. Listen, I love the Raldus hat that I'm wearing. Like, I love when you guys send me hats. Raldus actually, he had that nice vest on at MTE. I don't know if you guys saw the vest guy going around MTE. That was Tony Raldos. And if I'm butchering his name with my accent, forgive me, Mr. Raldos. But it's all love. And I do equal no filters. Thank you, Wilson Keys. And I love this hat. I love his logo. I'm a big fan of his logo, but I'll wear everybody's hat if you get it to me. And he snuck by the booth and put a hat there for me and Christian. And because I've been asking him for a hat forever, he thought about us, dropped two hats. I was like, yes, I've been waiting for this hat. So I think it's kind of like, I think he's a Beamer fan. I don't know. I feel like there was inspiration from that. Maybe that's because I've seen Beamers in his garage. I know Jordan over here is a Beamer fan, but it's kind of one of those things where, hey, been waiting for that hat. So if you have a hat, send it to me and I will wear it for 100%. Hey, you all want to know why they call themselves the Funkin' Home? Let's see. The homies and why the odor control so well. Do tell, Aaron. Do tell. We'll get into that later. But without further ado, we're going to kind of get into it. As we usually do, we like to talk about, the origin story of our guests. And, we kind of bring that in. So, Jordan, kind of tell us, like, what got you started in detailing? And how long have you been detailing? What was your inspiration? I know, like, you got a lot of history behind that. Give us the version, the Cliff Notes version, whatever you feel most comfortable giving. Tell us the highlights of that because I find your story interesting, as I do everybody's, and I just think it'd be kind of cool to hear. So, kind of give us a little dive into the Jordan Lee origin story, if you will.
Yeah, so who's ready for a therapy session after this one, guys?
Oh boy,
Just
we
totally
only have an
kidding.
hour. I'm just joking. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna keep going.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of got into detailing. It's definitely been a passion for a long time. As far as I can remember, I kind of grew up within the automotive industry. My grandpa, he's a collector. And so he's always had cool cars in his garage. He's always had everything like that. And, he's always had me just involved with it, whether it be, riding around in them, cleaning them, working on them, the whole nine. So I'm very versed from all the way from mechanics to detailing. So, I had a pretty traumatic childhood. I grew up in a really broken home, and my mom was a habitual alcoholic. My dad was just really not involved. My grandparents stepped up to the plate because of my mom's, alcoholism. It it kind of put a rift in my childhood where I didn't get to really have a childhood, like no birthday parties, no nothing. I didn't have a lot of happy memories, and I couldn't be a child. But the happy memories I did have were, either at my grandpa's house working on cars, doing that. That is like a core fundamental memory of mine is, being in the shop with them, or at my other grandparents' house on the farm. So, growing up, I just really honed in on those happy feelings with, anything automotive. and it's kind of spurred everything into action growing up. Um, as an adult now, it's just like it's still my happy place, and I've created that space for my kids too. And I it's just always really been a passion.
On the
But
estate, as we like to call it for you.
on the estate, yes.
Golf carts all over the place. You should see this place.
Jeeves has to take us everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah,
Party
the
in the
house
background.
fire.
So, what was your favorite car that your grandfather collected that you remember? Like, what is that signature car where you like you see it and you think grandpa?
So, God, it's like a Ford. I want to say a Model A, maybe. I can't remember, but it had a Chevy crate engine in it.
Okay,
So yeah,
nice.
he dropped a Chevy crate engine in it, and I was really little when he had it, but yeah, that was one of my favorites. I can't remember the exact model, but
Gotcha.
yeah,
Nice.
it was an old Ford.
Am I going to go ham on that soundboard? You're probably right. I mean, especially since Jordan reminded me right before the show of the air horn.
Yeah.
It takes you guys back to the '90s. You're like, yeah, I'm in the club. What's up? Maybe early
Yeah.
2000s. All right, so let's see next. That's pretty interesting. So, what got you into like? So, I know you like detailing, but like, I feel like you told me you were in the the auto scene before the detail scene, right? Then you kind of
Mhm.
transition to the detail scene, and it's kind of an extension. I mean, what made you transition to it? It just seems like you were really into that from what I talked to you, and you're just like, I want to detail now. That's my thing. I
Mhm.
want to do it. I know you said you want your kids around, and you get your own business there, and that's all that. But what made you say like, detail the mods, the cars, that was nice, but I want to pick up a rag. I want to do different things. You know what I mean? You had
Yeah.
if you had a desire to detail, if you will.
Yeah, so many years ago, one of my roommates actually started a detailing business out of a driveway when we all were in this house, and he just started it kind of out of the driveway and then his dad's shop and whatever. And I always really liked cleaning cars. I remember this was before I was even, working on, custom trucks and stuff like that. So he got into one of my old ratty Honda Civics that I had at the time, B20 VTEC, no big deal. Um, and he's like, wow, this thing's really clean in here. How do you keep it so clean? And I'm just like, I just like to keep stuff clean. I just am really like, like, I guess picky. Picky would be the term. Picky would be the term. So, and then a few years later, that's when I started getting into the modifications and stuff like that. But, I always had that blip in the back of my mind like, man, it would be kind of cool to do this for a living. Kept doing modifications, kept working it. I was a lube tech for a while. And then I worked at the diesel performance shop for a little bit. And then after that, I had
So wait, you
my,
worked at Jiffy Lube?
yes, it was Jiffy Lube.
What was that like working? All right, so I feel like when people work as a lube tech, I almost feel like there's a hierarchy of people. And I listen, if this is your job, no shots taken. But I always feel like if you're in the auto tech world and you walk into the lube place, like, oh, what's up? What's up? Oh, you change oil? Word, bro. Nice, nice. Like, is it? Did you get that energy? Feel like, oh yeah, you're a tech, sure. Like, did that happen?
No, actually.
No. Okay.
No, no. Everybody was I've never had anybody shocked that I was doing that other than I mean there were like one or two people naturally so, but
Like an
you
old
know,
crusty grandpa walking in, like, "What are you doing in here, honey? Working in this lube place? Like, this is a, like, what's going on in here? Like something like that, probably, right? Got some
yeah, it was usually, an older gentleman or an older woman like, "Oh, you're too pretty to be working here." She's like,
Chingy always checking me, not until now, but so the funny thing is all right. How about this? And we'll move on from that. But I just found that interesting. You always hear about the horror stories at the Jiffy Lube about someone forgetting to put the oil plug on or not to put the oil on. Did that ever happen when you worked there?
So it was actually right before I worked there. So I worked in a very like upscale city, and Godfrey, don't make it creepy.
That's just the
Um,
name.
so right before I started working there, somebody had a brand new Hellcat that they had brought in for its first oil change,
Wow.
and they forgot to put the oil in it.
Wow. So, all right, that's crazy. So, first off, did they find out because the car seized and the customer came back, or was the car like not hurt and they're like, no problem, no foul, or like they ended up having to
Oh,
buy a
it
brand new
it
engine?
needed a new engine.
Oh man,
Yeah,
rough.
I can't remember. It was so long ago. I can't remember how they found out, but I know that that was one of the first things. And so like I don't know, like don't you check the dipstick? I feel like you check the dipstick, birdies. That was me. I forgot to tighten an oil plug.
Yo,
Birdie.
yeah. I This is why I've always feared Jiffy Lube. Like going to the Jiffy Lube or oil place because I'm like, yeah, I'm always like, I'm checking that oil in the parking lot. I have to be like, shh, okay, we're good. Like, because that nothing will ruin your day like your engine season because you went to get your oil change and then they forgot to put the oil in. How do you
Yeah.
like? I mean, how do you forget that? I don't know. But anyway, listen, it's all good. That's interesting. So, um, you
Where we
know,
left off.
where we left off. Where did we leave off? I don't even know. Where did we leave off? We'll
We
just take
left
a
off
random.
with yeah, we left off with when I had basically left the diesel performance shop when I was pregnant with my first son.
Okay, so
Yeah.
pregnant first son left
Yep.
the detail performance shop or diesel performance shop, if you rather. Um,
Yes.
all right.
Yep. And so I started cleaning houses for a while. Brand new Hellcat doesn't take to the dealership. Yeah, I know. It was very disappointing. So I started cleaning
That
houses for a
sounds
little
like a
bit.
high interest rate Hellcat purchase to me, my friend. I
Yes.
don't know if it was. I would say, John, that I would guess is not a brand new Hellcat because that person would definitely go to the dealership, in my opinion, at least at first. That definitely sounds like either a lease customer, possibly, or someone who bought it used and they were paying a high interest rate. That's just my guess. Don't get offended, anybody, but
Yeah, and so I did that for a few years, stayed home with the kids, and then the my boy's dad ended up leaving us, the Hellcat with a co-signer. Yes. And so it was just me and my boys, and single mom in it, working, cleaning houses. I worked at Starbucks, and I took on a receptionist job at my friend who was detailing cars out of our driveway. Remember that?
yes,
So, yep, he opened up a very successful, highly viral detail shop in Salem.
nice.
And yeah, and so he was like, "Hey, I need a desk person. You're really good with sales, uh, this, that, and the other thing." And so I took a position at his detail shop. Sorry, I like to think I'm tough, but working in a diesel joint while preggy makes me feel inferior to the toughness category. Yeah, it was pretty tough being a little
She gets
pregnant.
she gets tough points. Listen, Liquid Death, I would like to give you a shout out, and if you would like to sponsor our show, that would be great. So
That
get
would
at
be
me.
great. We all love Liquid Death. Liquid Death,
Yep.
we love you. And so I then met my husband, and I guess okay, let's take it back to the sorry, I got off track there. So I worked
It
in the
happens on this show.
office.
It's all right.
I know. I'm just trying to remember like chain of events. My life is just pure chaos. My life has never been linear. I would love a linear life, but it's just been absolute chaos. But he got to get so busy. He's like, I need you out in the shop. And so he pushed me out in the shop. I was doing paint corrections. Um, it was really tough for a while, but I bounced around as an employee because I worked for him. Then I worked for my really good friend, Chris Lee at McMinnville Auto. He was my boss for a little bit. And then I kind of went off and did my own thing. And then I became pregnant with my daughter. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to do some detailing for fun just to make some extra cash and stay home. And the detailing for fun turned into everybody wanting it done. And then now look at me, I'm like booked at 6 months at a time now. So I stay fairly busy.
That's good.
So
I mean,
here I
I would
am.
say that's busy.
Yes, it's very busy.
Yeah. I credit 7-Eleven for my immune system. They were saying in the chat, shout out to my immune system. Put that in there for him. So,
Your immune system. Oh my gosh.
yep. But yeah, I mean I would say that's pretty good. I met Jordan through TikTok. And I've met a lot of detailers on here through TikTok and jumping on their lives, and it's been a really cool experience and community. And they've we like to we definitely break each other's chops a lot, but it's in a friendly way, especially the group I run in, if and it's some crazy banter, but I love it. And yeah, I met Jordan there. And then as some of you guys know, I was like, hey, let me slide into the DMs and offer you a free sample for bio bombs. You guys thought I was going somewhere else there, didn't you? So you know slid into the DMs, got her that sample, and she got on board the bars and the bio bombs, because she's not a big interior person, but she does do interiors, and she has used it from time to time, and that is something that no, we appreciate her. So she's definitely supported the bio bombs product, and makes me bring up a little segment here that I want to call the bio hack of the week. So someone alerted to me of this. We have our fresh AF spray, and I never thought of this. All right. But you could take this and you could spray this on your dryer balls a lot. And so credit to Tim. We call him Old Man Tim McLaughlin from Las Vegas. He told me this, and he's like, I told you, Christian, that months ago. Me and Christian, we talk a lot, but there's so much stuff to talk about. The thing slipped through the cracks. So he said he sprays this on his dryer balls regularly, and your clothes can smell like fresh AF. How crazy is that? I thought that's a useful hack. Well, I don't know what you guys think of the comments, but I don't know. You tell me. You seem surprised when I said that, so I think you might be trying that if you had some of that spray. You're like,
I need to order that spray though. Fresh AF is like the scent, and with the new truck needs Fresh AF.
Yeah, does your I really didn't you tell me your husband was a Fresh AF fan, or he likes a different one?
Yes, he loves Fresh AF. That's his favorite.
We appreciate him. He has good taste.
He
So
is.
yeah, so that's our biohack of the week, guys. Gonna be short and sweet like that. We might have one, we might not, but it's still gonna be the hack of the week. Might be there next week, but I just felt like you guys needed to hear that, because when I heard that and I sell it, I was like, what? Like, it's crazy, man. We love it. Like, people come up with these hacks, and it's like, all right, why not? So you can get that. You know where you can get it. I ain't even gonna tell you. You know where to go. There's many places to go. Your local wholesaler, Thor, biobombs.com. You know where to go to get this.
Yes. So. I was just looking at some of the chat comments here. I see a lot of people in here. I see.
Can we get iced out in a spray bottle?
Out in a spray bottle?
Well, and two, you're gonna have to talk to the BioBombs final boss, which would be Christian, about that. So
the final boss.
He's the final boss. So you would have to talk to him about that, because hit him with that. Next time he's on here, be like, yo, just spam, but I need iced out and a spray. But I gotta say, that's not the most requested one I've gotten when it comes to bio bombs. I've had Squash LLC. Some people say pop and cherry. I don't know. Good question. But Squash is the one that I think gets the most requests behind Fresh AF for a spray, to be honest. Yeah, see, some people don't like iced out. Some people do. I'm not a huge fan of it, but like I could tell you, this weekend at MTE, a lot of fans of it, which brings us up to MTE. We were both there. Actually, our boobs were like a football throw away from each other.
We could occasionally wave at each other.
Literally, we were that close. And I'm saying, I'm ashamed to say I've never used bio bombs yet. We really got to change that. First time 10 for all those out there who've never bought from us. Use that code and get on there. Say you talk to Matt. So,
Godfrey, why don't you just slide into those DMs again? You're good at that.
You know what? It's kind of hard to slide into the DMs though from a YouTube chat, right? Because you click on it, like there's no, like it's so funny, right? We do a contest, and I'm like, oh, just pick the winner, and if we don't know who it is, and contact us, I don't know if I'm gonna have to do like CSI on the profile picture and look up their name. Like, oh, are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? Are they on Facebook? Oh, I don't see any of that. Oh, well, they're screwed. So if you guys ever win anything, there's a 7-day expiration date, so you better get on that right away. I would suggest contact me that night if that's me or whoever it may be. Still got to try to ice squash. Yeah, there's another hack: iced out and squash. Our boy Danny from Flawless Mobile Detailing is all about that. He's like, well, you need to make me my own scent, and we were thinking about squashed ice or something like that. I still got to
Mhm.
try it. I got a super secret product that I'm going to try it in, but yeah. Oh yeah, the
A
trees
super
can't
secret
compare to the
product?
bars. Say what?
Super secret product?
Can't tell it yet. I might get killed, but it it,
Okay.
it, it would it would facilitate that. We'll just say that in a shop form. It's almost there though.
Okay.
Uh, Stan says the trees can't compare to the bars. By the way, I'm gonna make some content. Let's have a little MTE story time. So Stan, the man, Infinite Auto Detailing out there, he meets me. We're like, come on, stay at the BioBomb's house. He comes down for Nighthawk brand. We invite him over. We're driving home, and McCracken, our marketing guy, and our behind the scenes guy is like, Matt, I spy something yellow. I'm like, what the f are you talking about? It's the end of the show. Just want to get home. It was a long day, a good long day, but being on your feet. And I'm looking around, I'm looking around, I'm looking around. I'm like, son of a bitch. Stan picks me up in his friend Dimitri's Focus. His rental has two little trees hanging from the damn thing. I'm like, the disrespect is out of control in this car right now. He had a vanilla and a black ice completely butt naked hanging from the mirrors. I'm like, are you shitting me right now? And he filmed me saying it. And I'm like, I'm like, the disrespect is out of control. And I was like, this, and the marketing guy's like, riding with bio bombs and little trees. You can hear, I'm just like, yo, this is crazy to me. And it was just fun. He didn't even notice it. To be fair, he drove a long way from South Carolina, so he probably didn't even notice. He was laughing his ass off. But it was just like, yo. And the thing was insulting. They didn't even stink. They just were there taking up space. So we're gonna correct that problem. We made sure not Fran, Stan had a fresh AF bar because I was like, dude, you can't be disrespecting the bio bombs like this. So, and it's gonna make some great comment or for content. So yeah, cool water cologne scent. All right, guys, that's kind of crazy. That's a weird name. People said
Cherry and vanilla.
could be good, could be good. Maybe a stripper scent, something like that. Sugar plum,
Mhm.
oh daddy, oh daddy. Sugar plum is one I could see people wanting to spray into. Man, we got a ranking here. Is this vanilla, grape, squash, juicy melons, cherry, fresh AF? Okay. Ice out is horrible. No can do. Smells like cheap gigolo cologne. All right,
Great.
bruh, bruh. That's rough, man. Cheap gigolo cologne. I mean, man,
I love that.
we don't. But listen, I'm not
Boo.
gonna lie. Those of you who talk to me, listen. We have a scent for everyone, and iced out's not my favorite. But there's some people that swear by it. Swear by it. So I love that though. Cheap gigolo cologne. That's the comment of the week right there.
Yeah, that right there. That's it. Yeah.
Crazy. So MTE was good. I have to say, I'll speak for Christian since unfortunately he's sick. It was aside from people getting sick toward the end, it was definitely flattering. I'm humbled by all the people that came up and said hi to us. Um, it's kind of looking back, and people have heard me saw this before. We were at MTE a year ago, handing out samples and little baggies, and here we are with a booth. And some people said we might have had the busiest booth in the whole place. It's hard for me to see that because I couldn't leave the booth. Um, but we were pretty busy, and we're grateful for it. We're grateful for the support that people showed us, the enthusiasm that they have when they come up there, the pictures they took, and Eddie probably uses iced out. Wow, you're just coming at him right there. So um, I had a lot of fun talking to different people, meeting new people, seeing some old faces, seeing some familiar faces like Jordenlee, Juan, Stan was there. I got to meet Stan for the first time ever. Been chilling with Stan online for almost a year, and I've never seen him in person. That was pretty cool. There's a lot of people that can't. There's a lot of people that can't say that they met Stan in person. I'm one of the few. So he met the whole BioBombs team,
I met
and
Stan too. It was pretty
you
awesome.
did. Yep. Yeah, and it was pretty cool. And I loved it. I mean, what did you think about MTE?
It was really, really busy. Same as you. I just could not leave the booth. But it was kind of nice. I really like that they brought back the paint correction competition for, detailers who really love it. I mean, and it was nice because they didn't have like a physical judge. They did it mechanically. So they had, paint depth gauge to check how much clear there was, and then a gloss meter, and then there were, various other things. But I think that's really important for uh, detailing in general, just to have that. And it's nice because they don't like post results only for the first three. So even if you're worried about being absolutely horrible, no one will know. They'll just know that you didn't win top three. So I
Nice.
think I think that's pretty nice. I'm gonna do it next year. Me, and then I think Jackie is gonna do it. We're trying to get a whole girl squad to do it next year. So I think it'll be really fun.
Yeah, who wants a gasoline scent? I think if we did that, we'd have to put out a whole line called the Huffers release or something like that. Like, like,
My shop currently smells like diesel. My
awful.
husband, he changed his fuel filters in my shop and
Mhm.
got it everywhere.
Yeah. By the way, guys, if you get a diesel spill, bio bombs to the rescue. We can do that. Every tablet's about 250 square feet. So you're going above 250 square feet. You're gonna have to double bomb it, triple depends on your square footage. But we can get rid of diesel smell. Just letting you guys know. Diesel smell is awful too. I feel like I used to work on a farm when I was a kid, about 14. I know people are laughing at like, yeah, right. But you know, and I would ride on the tractor. They had farms in New Jersey, guys. I'm not lying here, and it was a vegetable farm. And the diesel smell from the tractor, I probably took about like I don't know 2 years off my life. Like being on the like wooden trailer. You're like, so weed farm, not in them days, buddy. They would have burned it to the ground and made you watch. Not in the 90s, but they would have burnt all that devil's
Oh,
lettuce to the ground. Yeah. So I mean, it looked pretty busy. Did from your vantage point? How did our booth look? It felt busy, but I'm always one for other people's perspectives.
yeah. Birdie. McDonald's bags from each state.
Yeah, yeah, right. Ugh.
Oh my goodness. That's
Yeah.
good.
So, how did our booth look from your vantage point? Did it look super busy?
Poppin'.
Was it?
Poppin'. Yes.
it
It was always busy. The BioBombs booth was always packed. Day
mm,
two, not so much, but day two I think was kind of slower for
for
everybody.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but day one, it just like looked like a mob of people right there.
So day two is weird. I felt like day two we would get like spurts of like
Hmm.
rushes. It's almost like they were showing movies or something, and then it let out and they came in between or something. It was almost like felt like I was in retail again. It was just a spurt of 20 people, boom, 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 and you couldn't do anything. I was able to walk around a little bit on Sunday. Your booth was popping too over there, Jordan. So was Top Choice. Your booth was popping when I went over there as well. But you guys were constantly look like you had people in there, especially on that first day. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we had a huge booth setup. We had a lot of square footage and it was always packed. So it was my legs hurt. My feet are still a little sore and my
Mine
back's
too.
screaming at me. But it was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of cool people. I mean, it's kind of surreal because you don't realize like how many, for me anyways, how many IGL installers there are like currently, and they all stop by, past accounts just to say hello, meet the new team, meet the new owners, stuff like that. And it was just really nice to kind of like rekindle relationships with old accounts and create new ones with new people. And it was a really good time. It was
Yeah,
really
her
great.
booth was the IGL booth. So Jordan, also is evolved the IGL. Great product, right? So
Yep.
Uh, we'll talk about coatings later. I got a couple questions for her guys as we go on the show. I'm pretty, we can't get her on here and not talk about coatings. Not IGL J Lee. I mean, she's got to
No.
talk about it a little bit. I know a lot of the guys over there. A lot of good people over there at IGL. Um, yeah. So the booth was slapping for sure. Mad Bus and Booth. That's funny. Uh,
Did
N2 said something really weird. Oh, burnt gear or oil spill. There's something he just said that got me.
did Stan get banned from
That's what I'm looking for.
MTE?
See, you know me so well. Yeah. So Stan didn't get banned, but little Stan story again. He's like, "Yo, I think I might have wore the wrong shoes." I'm like, "All right," and I'm thinking you're gonna be fine. Like, I'm thinking he like overdressed the
Mhm.
shoes, thinking he's gonna be wearing like hush puppies with a penny in it, penny loafers, whatever, something like that. I'm like, is he bringing in some church shoes? Is he breaking Stacey Adams out the closet? I don't know what's going on here, right? And he shows up, and my man in 75-degree weather had on hiking boots like he was about to climb Mount Everest. I was like, "What are you wearing?" My man was he was beasting it for 2 days through these boots, and I was just like, every time he walked by, all I heard in my head was "fee fi fo fum," and I was just like, "Yo." And I felt I would, me personally, I'll give him credit for just saying screw it, I'm gonna do it because I would have went to Kohl's, Marshalls, called an Audible, and bought some $20 cheapies and just Steve Madden, whatever. I would have took care of it. But my man had like these boots look like he could have just jumped on a snowboard and like went down a slope. Like they were those type of boots. And they weren't like the boots that were like, kind of it almost looked like they were like you remember the lugs back in the day? The lugs boots. They're kind of like sneaker boots almost, but like bigger and beefy.
Sneaker boots? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
but I was just like, yo, that 50 pound, they looked like they was 50 pounds, man. They did, man. This dude was like, he was like on the Stairmaster the whole time there. It was like he was at the gym when he had to walk on those things. So I thought that, no, N2, he didn't have cutoff jeans, but if he did, that would have been legendary. If he wore those boots with cutoff jeans, that would have been, no one would have forgot that. That would have been legendary. Legendary. I wish he would have did that.
Dawn of
Ne-
Detail, my favorite detailer. He says he doesn't get out often.
Listen, you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. He had his booty shorts with him for sure. Yeah, he might have, but I told him to hold off on that. Wasn't a good idea. The booty shorts, not a good idea. Yeah,
Not
so
until he got back to the Airbnb, right?
yeah, yeah, right. No, those were banned from the that's it's on the 10 commandments of the bio bombs entry list. Number 3 is no booty shorts at all for any male that is 250 year old higher. No, just no booty shorts at all, we say. But yeah,
I
that
should
would
have
that
dressed like Steve Irwin, is what Stan said.
you should have dressed like Steve Irwin. I thought my man was there to kill some stingrays, you know what I mean? Steve Irwin is a lenger. Oh, that, you know what? I like this torta chasing boots. That's what Stan thought. He's like, I'm gonna chase some tortas in these boots. They would have outran your ass though in those boots. You would have ran like an 8.0 40-yard dash. So yeah, back to MTE. But Stan's my guy. I'm just messing with him, man. I forgive you, Stan, for your sin against the bio bombs brethren here with your little tree and your rental. Um, he also got sick. A lot of people got sick. People got that MTE flu, man. All I know is Sunday I wasn't sick, thank goodness, right? But I will tell you that there's a lot of people that in the place I stayed and other places. I mean, they were getting those chills, that fever, you
Well, it's
know.
really bad because flying into Orlando, you have, Disney World there or whatever
Mhm.
and Universal Studios. And so everybody's bringing their kids in, which is
Oh,
fine. Nothing against kids. I've got three. But when these kids are hacking up a lung on the plane and all that air is recirculating and everybody's breathing it and you're, viciously sick. And yeah, that's what I had coming in on my first leg of the flight and my second leg into Orlando was tons and tons of sick kids. So I'm surprised I'm not sick.
yeah.
But that's just
Those
kind of
kids are not missing Disneyland for no cold. They're like, I'm good.
no.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they look like, they're suffering from the plague and they're like, "I'm good, mom."
There were kids like high fiving each other on the plane I was on. There was only a couple like, yeah, Disney final. Yeah. I was like, and I laughed. I was like, all right, guys, cool. You know, it's funny. I have a strategy for flying to Orlando.
Okay.
I look at the plane it is, and it's a really big Boeing where I could think more people could be on there, right?
Mhm.
Um, I'll fly the Airbus because there's less people on the Airbus. So therefore, my theory is less people means less kids, less families, and not that I have anything against it, but kids like to carry those germs. So I don't need to be testing my immune system. And you are correct, Celtic. My immune system is baller because of ketchup on mac and cheese. So that's right.
That's a
Yeah.
cardinal sin. That's so
Listen, if
foul.
it's we'll talk about that later, but if it's not gourmet mac and cheese, it's getting that ketchup squirt. That's all I know.
I like
So
barbecue sauce.
on mac and cheese.
Hmm.
So hold on, time out. How can I get criticism for ketchup on mac and cheese and your barbecue sauce is just tangier ketchup? You're just putting like brown
Yeah, but
sugar in there, spices.
it's got flavor. Ketchup doesn't have like any flavor. It's just kind of
Mm.
sweet.
If you get
You
that spicy
you
ketchup
gotta.
like I get, it's good.
Oh, okay. It makes it different because it's spicy ketchup. Okay.
Wait. So, you guys who are roasting me in the chat, barbecue slaps on mac and cheese. It's not the same.
Thank you,
Please,
Kyle. Thank you.
ketchup on mac and cheese is suspicious AF. I like what you did there, Kyle. I see what you did there. Um, barbecue chicken and mac and cheese. I don't
Ooh,
understand.
yeah.
I am catching mad strays right now. I don't even understand how people can say to me, "You don't have a leg to stand on if you're using barbecue." I'm just saying. I mean, that seems. I'll try it. I have an open palate. It's not boring like some of you in the chat. I'm just letting you know. So I'll try the barbecue on the mac and cheese, and it might slap. It might be good. I'll do
It's
it. Why
going
not?
to. It's going to change your life.
Yeah.
Put some
Listen.
jalapenos in the mac and cheese.
Wow, jalapeno. See, all right. Here's the thing.
Hmm.
So ketchup on mac and cheese, yes, but I
See,
will state Heinz is tangy. Thank you, Keith. You're a man of great taste. Um, here's the thing. If your mom made the mac and cheese, it's cookout mac and cheese. It's they made it's homemade. It's proper mac and cheese. I'm not gonna put ketchup on it. But if it comes out of a box, it comes out of it was frozen and it got microwaved. If it's like instant mac and cheese, yeah, it's getting some sauce on top of it. So
that
that's how
means the
I've
trash.
what
Frozen mac and cheese. That
well,
sounds terrible.
never had. Listen, sometimes when you're in a tough spot, this is why this immune system's like this. Get that Amy's Organic from 7-Eleven. Let's go. It's got the
Yeah,
kale in
we
there.
we can truly thank 7-Eleven for your immune system, can't
That's
we?
right.
Have
Uh,
you tried the gummy bears from 7-Eleven yet? The 7-Eleven brand gummy bears?
I'm afraid to try any gummy bears because I feel like after the Habaro gummy bears, sugar free thing, sugar free or not, I feel like I know about that sweet baby rays. Don't you come at me. I know about that sweet baby rays. But listen, if you have ever had the sugar free gummy bears, don't do it. I haven't had the 7-Eleven gummy bears, but I'm afraid of gummy bears because of what the sugar free gummy bears will do to you. And if you need to know what I'm saying without get too graphic, Google Amazon reviews for Haribo sugar. I'm saying it wrong.
It's
Is it Habro?
it's like Haribo.
Haribo sugar free gummy bears.
Those are terrible gummy bears. They're like rock solid gummy bears. It's like chewing on a rock. You get the 7-Eleven gummy bears, and those things you can quick, 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 you can squish them.
So
They're
you
very
you
squishy.
squish your gummy bears before you eat them. You're like you're
So that's personal information.
oh, okay. Well, it sounds like you revealed that to us. So and those reviews are ridiculous. If you want to laugh and you watch those reviews, you're gonna be like, "What is going on right here?" So yeah, there's a lot of crazy reviews. If you think about some wild products that they might have Amazon, and you start looking at the reviews, you're gonna be like, "Why have I never even thought about this before?" Just if you're bored, maybe sitting in the airport, maybe waiting for your mac and cheese to get done to put ketchup on it, something like that, right? So
Your taste
yeah.
buds are off.
So you didn't get the flu. Did anybody from your crew get that MTE flu?
Nope, no one's sick.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Man, it must have been like if you got the closer you got to PDR, the more dangerous flu you had.
Yeah, nobody's gotten sick. Everybody's doing good. We're all just healthy as can be.
So, by the way, MTE was way busier than last year, I felt. I don't know if you were there last year, Jordan. Were you there last year?
I wasn't there last year, but I was looking at the numbers respectively from last year. Yeah, much bigger.
Much bigger. I could tell physically there were more people there than last year because there wasn't really a couple years ago. You almost had like I would say 15% of the place was vacant. If you went all
Mhm.
the way to the left, and there was places wall to wall. So that's something that was pretty interesting. I would say that you know, looking at around, I saw a lot of different types of videos. It was definitely more detailed than PDR. Also,
Sugar-free bears equals MTE flu.
it does. IGL booth was safe zone noted. That's funny.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so that competition you're talking about, I wanted to talk about that quickly.
Yes.
Now, there was some controversy this year because some people said they wanted to throw their hat in the ring. I almost want to get my own team together just to bring them there and be like, yo, you're here for the competition. You could use rotary this year. That was it before you could not, is from what I understood. And that was a big thing. Like some people don't want to do it unless they use rotary. Did you hear that? Am I hearing that right?
So I kept hearing people say, "Oh, you can't use a rotary," but it was like if you went to the MTE website and signed up for the competition, it said you can use any tools that you bring.
And I
So I
confirmed
don't,
that with MTE people. It is true.
yeah, so I don't know where that deficit fell as far as that goes, but I feel like the staff tried to be as clear as possible. Sugar-free Haribo gummy bears gave Eddie the bubble guts on the plane.
That's funny. That's from the previous episode we did, and they were talking about he was praying he was hurting him so bad.
Yeah, but sorry, bubble guts is hilarious.
Show up with a floor polisher to show up with a floor polisher to the competition. Yeah, I'm here for the competition. That would be great. Yeah, I the thing is I saw I'm not gonna name names, but I saw a lot of trash talk out there on in the social media saying I was gonna come, but they changed the rules, and the dude was like, "Nah, bruh, we never changed the rules. We told you the rules. Or maybe you'll be there next year." I almost want to draft like an expert of Cheyenne, people that do that competition and get like the four horsemen of Godfrey together. I'm not gonna do it, but I just want to. I'll be the manager. I'll show up like wrestling. I'm like, yo, these are my guys. We're here to win this thing.
Well, what's kind of cool is even if somebody showed up, I think who was it? It was last year's there was a gal that did it. And she didn't have any tools, nothing, and she was basically like she signed up last minute and a lot of the vendors in the area like Rup has let her borrow a polisher and like everybody kind of like banded together to get her tools that she needed, which was
Mm.
really awesome. But it just speaks volumes of everybody that was competing in it. Shout out to Greg. Who's Greg?
Oh, we're just putting that down there. You don't have to read that one.
Oh, okay. um and so Yeah, I mean, it's really incredible watching everybody just band together. It's like the detailing community has been pretty toxic for a few years, and I see that everybody's like stepping out of that box, and there's a
Mm.
lot more like awareness of kindness and respect, and everybody's like, it just feels good to go to an event now. Like everybody's getting along, everybody's, working cohesively. Like IGL had the industry photo. You you would took that with us, right? The
Yeah. Oh,
industry
yeah. That
photo?
was awesome. Where can I get
Yeah,
that photo, by the way?
it will
Like,
be released soon.
oh, was
It'll
that an
it'll be out.
IGL photographer? I didn't even. All
Yes.
I know is people were like, Godfrey, get over there. I'm like, what's going on? And I slid in there. I'm like,
We had people running from all the way across the building. We walked around, did laps, invited everybody because we all are in this together. Like everybody's working
I
together.
like that. So that was an IGL inspiration right there.
We do it every year. Hmm.
Perfect. That's amazing. I love it. That is really really cool.
Yeah, we do it at SEMA and MTE. So this year at SEMA, just I'll let you know, and you can wander over and take the SEMA picture with us.
Nice. We'll
Hmm.
see. We'll see what room we're in because there's no such thing as wander over at SEMA. It's called like I'll see you in a half an hour.
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
know.
so it literally to the point where I went to visit Jordan and do some network and talk to people. She introduced me to one of her people at IGL, Ray, who's a cool dude. And I went over there just to see Ray and drop some stuff off. And they're like, "You're never at the booth, Godfrey. You're never at the booth." Which isn't true. I was doing the work of Biobomb trying to network. So, but that's okay. I'll, as Redman says, I'll be that. But it is a great community. I wanted to hit you with a coding question because you like to do codings before IGL, after IGL, during IGL. It's a thing you know how to do.
I
So
dabble. Yeah.
you dabble. So here's my thing about coatings, right? There's a lot of controversy around coatings. How long they should last, not last, whatever. I feel like that's the boring conversation everybody talks about. And I feel like the conversation that doesn't get talked about enough is every customer a good coating customer? So I'm going to ask you the question as a detailer, how do you properly qualify a customer who wants to buy a coating?
So I'm always open to the conversation of, a customer comes to me, I just want a cheap coating, this and that. It's like, well, what are you expecting out of the coating? How are you going to maintain it? This and that. I let them know that, you know, um, just right off the bat that coatings do need to be taken care of. They cannot be neglected, and otherwise you're essentially wasting your money. Um, and so we run through if that is something that they're willing to commit to, and if they're not willing to commit to a rigorous maintenance schedule, then I tend to suggest either like a 1 year coating, something that's really basic. Um, so I mean, I'm always open to installing a coating, but it just is, I guess, which coating I'm installing. So instead of like reapplying wax consistently, I either do my 1 year coating or I have a really great spray sealant that I use that lasts about 6 to 9 months. And we can always do that too. But we we also look at like the paint condition too. So, if the paint is really bad and they have no intentions of maintaining the coating, washing it properly, following through with said maintenance schedule, we kind of revisit that situation. But either way, somebody's getting at least a 6 to 9 month sealant, which is our premier, or a 1 year coating, which is easier poly. So those are the things that are like my entry level kind of deal. If somebody's not willing to commit to, any of the bigger coatings, essentially.
Yeah, because what I notice, in all the banter, and it's just like when I hear about coding, people want to get in these debates about how you should market, what's true, what's not true. And the thing I always ask the person is like someone who buys a coating, and correct me if I'm wrong here because I'm a novice. I feel like that's someone that's if they're a good coated customer, they're willing to invest in a quality coating. I feel like if a customer comes up and you get what you pay for, they're looking for a cheap coating, they can't expect all these things. And I feel like it's as a salesperson in general, I feel like it's up to that person to set those expectations correctly. Right.
Yes.
And that's where you get people that like to bring out all these, fancy words about it. And it's a hotly debated topic. But, with any product, you know, as coding gets more sophisticated, I just feel like if you do right by the customer by setting your expectations correctly, what it's going to do, what it's not going to do, how you take care of it. I know people that are detailers where they would tell people, like, I'm not coding your car anymore because the last time I did, you didn't listen to what I told you to do while you had a coding. And, to me, you want to make a sale, you want the business, it makes sense. And, you could sell them what they want, but if you set the expectations, you can say, "Hey, this was on your car beforehand. This is what we started with. This is what you can expect, and this is what you need to do." And if you go there and even go as far as putting on a piece of paper that they sign, it's on record that you did talk to them about it. So that way they can't be like, "You didn't tell me this. I went to a car wash and my God, I don't know where my coating's out anymore." Like, what's the number one mistake that you make after you get a coating as a customer that you hear about? Number one mistake.
Yeah, so I'm very firm on the fact of no drive-through car washes, touchless or touch, either one. don't go into those bays with those big scrubby brushes. Like that's not going to work. So, I get a lot of people that go through touchless car washes that don't
Hmm.
realize how caustic that those chemicals are that come out of there. And they're not, you don't have somebody just consistently regulating the balance of chemicals that's in there and making sure, it's not one way or the other. So you don't know how hot those chemicals are hitting your car. I did a test with my Explorer. I ran it through our touchless here in town just to see what it would do. I had hazing on my tailgate.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that was because it didn't completely rinse everything off. It was just sediment sitting and draining because it wasn't getting completely clean. And so, I've had people go through the touch or touchless. That's my biggest oops, I guess, that I have. But other than that, everybody's been really great. They usually just bring it back to me because they don't want to wash it anyways. So,
Nice.
yep.
So I've correct me if I missed this, but I'm pretty sure you said it. Is there a situation where the customer, you're like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this this coding for you. I don't think this is a good we're not a good match. I mean, or is it like, hey, you want to give them what they want, but you're going to set the expectations properly because you don't want to turn away the business. And I don't think either one's a wrong answer, but what would you do?
Yeah. Typically, it's the latter. It's not the former for me. If somebody really wants a coding and I go through everything with them, I have them sign a disclaimer. That's it. Just, I've talked about this with you. We've gone over this. We've gone over the care methods, and I just straight up tell them that I will not warranty it since we've talked about the maintenance schedule and everything else like that. So, that is something that we've talked about. But sorry, my
Yeah,
daughter just wandered in here.
that's okay. That's okay. So that's a good practice in general, right? Like I've been in, some of I used to do car sales and I would have a situation where like I'm helping them try to make the right choice, right?
Mhm.
The old saying is you buy price, you buy twice. And at a certain point, I'd be like, you really should get this Toyota Corolla over here, right? I know it's a little bit more money, but they're like, I want the Kia Forte because my payment's $50 less. And in the back of your brain, that Kia Forte is a turd. It's gonna be a turd. It's a future turd. They're all turds. I'm sorry. There's no way you can tell me a Kia Forte is a good car. And eventually, you're like, you know what? I got to sell them what they want. You want the Kia Forte? Let's get you in that Kia Forte, right? And I set their expectations correctly, and I feel like that, you know, or correctly. And I feel like that applies across all sales industries. That's what it has to do. Godfrey was like Gil from The Simpsons. I don't even, I got to look that up, but it's probably right on. John Weber, I didn't forget about your horseman question. I'll come back to that later. He asked me what my top four horsemen were. It would be Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, of course, Tully Blanchard, and I'm going to go with Barry Windham. There you go. John
Ric
wanted to know.
Flair, the Ric Flair woo.
Woo!
Woo!
Can't go wrong with Ric Flair. And apparently he's a big tipper too.
Oh, nice. That's
And
always
he's
good.
and he's still a party guy even at his age.
Yeah, but no, to get back to what we were talking about, yeah, I'll definitely sell anybody a coating. I'm just very, very firm on, expectations. I leave no gray areas. They sign disclaimers, they get emails, they get text messages from me. Everything is there. They get something written out. I mean, there's a lot that's there. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people will be like, "Wow, that's a lot to do." And it's like, "Yes, it's a lot." So a lot of people will get the smaller coatings because they don't want to have that kind of commitment, and that's okay too. I will
Mm.
never trust a Kia Forte again after Vegas. Oh no.
Got to hear that one from the House of Rags eventually. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's interesting. So we're gonna get into that fast as fast as AF boy. You know, we don't have the sound effects, so we'll just have to improvise here. Fast as AF, right? What do you guys think I should pick for that? Should it be like a galloping horse? Should it be a race car?
race car.
Race car?
Meow.
Okay. Vroom. Yeah, so fast this is our segment where we like to ask you rapid fire questions.
Okay.
but they're not really rapid fire. But one bite, everybody knows the rules. It's kind of like
All
that.
right,
It's not really
I
what it
got
is.
it. I'm
Yeah.
ready.
So here's this is going to get the crowd going. Should you round up for charity, or should the big box store you're buying from round up when checking out? So when you go there and they're like, "Hey, your bill is 11.83. Would you round up for charity?" And in my head, I love giving, but why don't you round up and you give them the money? That's what I think about that. Groceries are high these days. What do you think?
So this is a double-edged sword.
Uh
I'm gonna
oh.
go. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with that. The big box store should round up because they have high enough profit. I think it would be good for them to do that. Give back a little bit, right?
The
But
crowd
I
an
really,
answer.
but I really think that, as a person, you should be looking at giving in some way or another as well. Even if it's not, money, I think that you can, like I do services. I donate my services to our school's raffles. Just to raise some money for our schools, but different ways of giving back, or even just being a good friend. That's a cashless way of giving back.
For sure. Now, the
Mhm.
next one is kind of related to this. This is going to be even hotter topic. Has tipping gone too far? Now, I'm a big tipper. I've always been a big tipper, but sometimes people will feel trapped. I just bought my coffee. They
Mhm.
give you the coffee. Should you tip? I've seen tipping for like I picked up my dry cleaning. Should you tip? You know, tipping where you're not traditionally used to tipping. Has
Mhm.
tipping gone too far in your opinion?
I think that the service industry needs to pay the people that they're hiring better to accompany for that so they don't have to rely on tips for a paycheck. I think that's absolutely asinine. So yes, I think that tipping has gone too far. I think that the employer should pay their people more in a perfect world. So,
Yep.
yep.
The crowd also agrees with that. Godfrey approved. Listen, I agree. I mean, listen, you're gonna charge $12 for your pinkety finkety fro frappity frap drink.
Mhm.
Um, you can pay your employees more. Tipping when it comes to like a restaurant setting, totally different.
Mhm.
Bartending or you're getting a drink, totally get it. Valet, the funny thing about tipping is sometimes I want to tip and they're like MTE had this. It was so asinine, and it's been like that 2 years in a row. MTE, if you're listening, it's going to probably be at a different place next year anyway, so it might not matter. But you will want to tip the bartender if you're getting a drink out front. You can't tip the bartender, right? Unless you have cash. So if you use your card, there's not an option to tip them, which is crazy. So then you would have to either get cash or you got to stiff the poor bartender. And then I feel like a piece of crap because I don't want to do that. And then I got to get money and come.
Well, they also told us that MTE was cashless.
Yeah, but
So everybody went without cash.
yeah, so yep. So they
I could
screw the
see how
poor
that was
bartender. She's like,
surprising.
it's
Yeah.
cashless. But if you want to tip your bartender, so I was the
Yeah.
bartender's manager, I'd be pushing for that. Like, yo, listen, you need to take care of my people here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I don't know. I'm a big tipper everywhere we go just because I know that the wages aren't great for people in the service industry, that they really make them work for those tips. So, I just wish it was the other way around in a perfect world.
So funny story about this. This is why, aside from the thing we're talking about,
Mhm.
it was almost weird not to tip at Spain. And she's right about that. But you know what I know? I've gone to London a lot, right? And they don't tip there. Now you can tip, it's optional. But if you're in a crowded bar, the bartenders don't hustle like American bartenders. Like you could be in a crowded bar and the bartender in America is superior. They're like, let me get this drink, boom, tip here, tip here. They're moving. They're looking down the straight line and you're like, hello, I'm waving $1 in there. I will tip them. I will bribe them for a drink, even though I don't have to tip. Because I've been in bars so crowded over there and they're not hustling hard over there. So they get an hourly wage. There's some tips that go in, but I'm like, yo, what I need I'm sorry, man. In a bar situation, in a crowded bar, I'll take the tippet situation because I'll pay a premium for that drink so I can get it. But
Mhm.
over there, overseas, they're like, I could be, everybody's going to get a drink. It doesn't matter. Get in line, whatever. And you wait in line and they don't work a bar. Like they don't go from end to end like a good bartender does. They'll stay in one damn spot. And you're like, what is going on around here? So you got to learn how to navigate that. Eventually, the Godfrey gets to them and he gives the bartender a tip. And I look at him like, that's for you, buddy. Remember me. And then
Dan is correct. In many countries in Europe, it's offensive to tip.
Well, they don't get offended in England, Stan, when I tip them. They're like, "Oh, this guy's not cheap." Yes. Yeah, you know what? You're right. And so a lot of times you don't. But if you're at a pub and it's not crowded, yeah, man, you're not tipping, right? Like you're getting your pint. It's all good. But yeah, no, I feel you on that, Stan. It's true. It's true. So now we got another one. Let's see what we got here. So this is going to bring some controversy because people always want to talk smack. Uh, Ketchup on eggs, yes or no?
No. Why are you putting ketchup on everything? Do you just have like
Ketchup,
Costco
yeah,
sized ketchup bottle? Do you have like a little
no.
pulley tab you
Ketchup.
just
So you don't like ketchup on eggs?
ketchup? No.
There's people in the chat to do. So no eggs, not even scrambled,
No.
omelet
No.
with
I
cheese.
season my stuff. I love cheese. Cheese is good. Cheese is good on everything.
First
But I'm
off,
not
I'm surprised. First off, a little bit of ketchup on a cheese omelet is delicious. What is the difference from having a burger with cheese on it and an egg on that? Salsa. We're going. I'll go salsa.
salsa. Salsa is like supreme on eggs. That's what I have. I like
Ketchup on hash browns. Okay.
chunky salsa.
I see ketchup on hash browns. All
Hmm.
right, scrambled eggs and cheese and ketchup. Yep. See, my man's from
Cholula on
my
eggs.
man's from
Yes.
Pennsylvania. He knows what the deal is. What did someone say? What? Kalula?
Cholula. Kahlua. No, Cholula.
Cholula. Okay. Is that a type of hot sauce?
Yes. Hot sauce on
Okay.
eggs is completely acceptable.
All right. I think so too. Why not hot sauce and ketchup?
Mm-hmm. Not, oh, no.
Yep. Get that.
Salsa, hot sauce.
Refried beans on a breakfast taco. You guys, yeah, stand here. You're supposed to enjoy food the natural way. There's only a few sauces that can complement eggs or ingredients. Ketchup covers flavor up. You have no palate if you like hot sauce. What person says, "Oh, this egg is flavored great"? First off, most eggs are bland as shit, and you have to season it up, and it's just another season. That's all I'm saying. No one's like, "Oh man, that egg, Bessie the chicken over there, she really hatches some good eggs that slap."
Her
Like
name's Mary, actually, or
Mary, oh, you
Poppy.
Mary, yeah, salt and pepper, bro, not ketchup. How about so? Wait, you're telling me I got a boring palate, and you're like, let me. I know how I'll spice it up. Let me put some pepper on there. Peppered. I don't know if you know this or not. Peppered is known as the Caucasian adobo.
So the Kinders, it's by Kinders. It's called The Blend, but it's got garlic in it. Garlic
Mm.
feeds the soul. It's so good. I'll have to send you a picture of it. You should try it on your eggs before
All
you
right,
put all your ketchup on it.
people have been trying to tell me this. I'm not for it. Mayo on a hot dog.
No, that sounds weird.
There's people that in this chat that will tell you that you have to put mayo on a hot dog, and I saw it as we had a bio bombs barbecue at the house, and there were people going. Shh. I was like, "Ew, what are you doing? Take that mayo off of the hot dog."
Gross. No,
Mustard
Jay.
only. I would say mustard. Yeah, good one. Yeah, I mean,
Mustard.
hell no. But all right, listen. We got some sanity in this chat tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So got a couple more questions. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Hard copy, audio digital book. I'm sorry, hard copy, audio, or digital for books?
Hard copy.
Hard copy. And I guess that was a kind of a loaded question as we see that behind her. And yes, someone asked, "Is that a library?" It is a library behind her. I told you this
Mm-hmm.
girl's got an estate. Don't front. She's got a private library, but like she's got golf carts just flying everywhere.
Stop.
Garages for buckheads in it. No, just so. All right, we got a few more. So, what's a food that gives you the ick? Can't say ketchup. Qualifying it.
Okay, well, it was going to be ketchup. Food that gives me the ick. Man, I have an extensive palate and I love food. So, I mean, nothing really gives me oysters. Oh,
Mm,
oysters. I did an oyster shooter for the first time in my life. Just the look of them freaks me out. And I did it and I was literally sitting there.
mm.
God bless anybody that can do oyster shooters. Tell you what, that's so gross.
So what you're telling me is you don't like doing an oyster shooter and getting a little bit of sand in your mouth.
Oh,
That
mm.
yeah gives you that. I can see that, man. Can't be dirty oysters, not good. So
It's giving
All
me
right.
shivers on my spine.
Yeah. So, how about the most annoying question that you get? I totally missed about that as a woman detailer. The most annoying question.
You actually detail? You do this?
They're
That's
like,
probably
it's like, oh my God, you can use your extremities and do things. It's
my
amazing.
hands work. Spirit fingers.
Enjoyed the show. I'm going to spray some fresh AF on my balls or whatever. See how that goes. Have a good night. I think you mean your dryer balls, but sir, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt there. Um,
Yeah.
I let him get away with that one. So we're going to close this out with this last question. Any advice for a new detailer? Anything that you might think is something key that you think a lot of new detailers miss, or something that they should be focused on when they first start out?
Absolutely. Focus on your business wholeheartedly. Really put the time and the effort into content creation, engaging with your community, stuff like that. But first and foremost, do not fall prey to buying and trying a million new brands that everybody's like, oh, try this. Oh, try this. If you find something that works for you and is price, productive and you're having a great ROI with all of your products and you're getting profits, don't overspend if you don't need to. I'm a firm believer in waste not. I will buy little, products here and there to try, but it can really break a business by over purchasing items that you don't need or go through consistently. Definitely track everything that you're using. I have a little spreadsheet, and then I just place, one big order typically every now and again. Now that, my business is up and running, I can do that. But, keep track of what you're using. That's really important.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so what you're also saying is don't fall into the trap that a lot of new detailers I hear fall into is go crazy buying a bunch of product,
Yep. Don't
right?
go crazy buying a bunch of product. Yep.
And you're
Because
having
then you're,
you have a shelf full of product that you're not even using,
hmm
right?
yep.
Guys, see if people could send you samples or not, or something like that. But I say, yeah, that's great advice for a new detailer out there. Of course, I thought we were gonna go without getting this comment in the show. Nothing crazy, but this is the new trend in this group. Snake, eat the Snickers, vein up or vein down. I'm like, what is going on? And I never thought about a Snicker that way until people started saying it about a week ago in a group chat. I'm like, what the? I'm like, oh, come on, man. Now it's ruined for me. I'm not gonna eat Snickers the same way. Milky Ways are done, Snickers are done. They're all done for me now. You know what I mean?
I
Can't
love
even
Three Musketeers bars. Three Musketeers
oh,
bars are my go-to. I love those.
yeah, see, this guy
Hmm.
veined down House of Rags. House of Rags started this problem, or someone else that did in the chat. I don't know who did, but texture chocolate, yeah. Three Musketeers is a good is a good one. But listen, with that being said, we're a little bit over time, but that's how we roll. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Jordan Lee, for coming on. Tell them
Thank
where they
you
can
for
find you.
having me. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Jordenlee Schwartz. You can find me on TikTok, IGL _J or Instagram is my personal business page, desire_detail.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. As you know, per usual, every week, same time, same place, 6 p.m. West Coast time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And with that, we're not saying goodbye. We're just saying stay fresh.